Hi, my name's Christine. Welcome back. So I thought we'd go over my hair journey from kind of the beginning to where I am now. I think I talked a little bit about it, last year in one of my videos, but I've come across a few little things that might help, might not help. There's so much information out there already. Everyone's different. Everyone has hair growth or loss at different rates. Different textures, different everything, experiences things differently when you lose hair due to chemotherapy. So I just want to go over my journey, and if something resonates with you, that's great. I hope it does, and if you want to leave comments or questions, I would love to hear that too and to know more about your experience. Now, I remember starting chemo, and it had been about 2 weeks in, and I went to my doctor and I said, I haven't lost any hair yet. And he said, well, you come week 3. If you're not losing hair by week 3, then they're not giving you enough chemo. So week 3, sure enough, like clockwork, my hair started falling out. Now, prior to that, I had a broken back due to the cancer and a broken arm. And I had hair about to here. And somebody was washing my hair and showering me and everything, so I just couldn't move this arm. And so I could just brush it, but I couldn't put it in a tie or a headband or a ponytail or anything. So I went down to the doctor, and meanwhile, this is before I was doing radiation and I was not doing chemo. I went down to my hairdresser and I had her cut it all off to a buzz. And it was just so much easier because I could just with one hand do everything. It was just so much easier. And I always wanted to have really short hair. I just never really, I think, had the courage to go short like that. So it was kind of an opportunity for me to do that. That was kind of exciting. So it wasn't bald, it was just more of a buzz cut. So then when this 3rd week came around of chemo and my hair started falling out, I was in France. And my hair was still short. I was still keeping it very short. And actually went shorter than the buzz just before France because I knew I'd be losing more hair. And I remember doing this at one time. And just, this little confetti of little short hairs came falling out. And I was like, great. And I did notice hairs falling out other places too. And some places I didn't, like my eyelashes and eyebrows. They took some time before they fell out. They took longer. I'm not sure exactly, maybe 6 weeks or so. Anyway, but what did happen, and I was in France while this was happening, I was wearing caps. I hate wearing caps. I had one wig. Didn't really like the wig. Never really wore it at all. But I was getting acne, bad cystic acne on my head, all over in the back here. And it would itch and it would itch and it would itch. So I was trying to resolve that. Like, it would be fine to be bald if I just didn't have this flippin' acne. And it looks so bad too when you go and take your hat off and you've got this acne all over your head. So I did a few things, and I'll tell you what I think worked and what didn't work. I looked up everything and they said, use a gentle shampoo, use a baby shampoo. So I did. I grabbed Johnson's baby shampoo. That's how much I've used in probably about 1.5 years or so. You just need a tiny bit when you don't have any hair. And I was doing that, and they're like, and your hair is dry, your scalp gets dry. So I was putting my oil that I use on my face. It's a nice dry oil. It's a rosehip oil from The Ordinary. And I was putting this on my head afterward. And meanwhile, I was only able to shower due to how I felt and strength and stamina about two, maybe 3 times a week. So it wasn't like I was going to town every day washing my hair. And they did recommend don't do it every day. Well, that was just part of the byproduct of having chemo, not feeling good, is I just wasn't showering and doing washing up every day. So I would do that, but this acne. So I tried this using the salicylic acid shampoo, and this is a generic one. There's like T-Sal, which is, I don't know who makes that, but this is just a generic one. It's great for dry scalp. It's not for dandruff. It's for a different type of condition on your scalp, just dry scalp. And salicylic works great for acne on your face, so why not on your head, right? So I tried that. So I started washing with this every once in a while also, along with the baby shampoo, along with the oil, just sort of mixing it up, seeing what worked. And then what I finally did, which I think really helped, is that I took an antibiotic cream or ointment, and I put that after I washed, or actually every day, on my acne. I just put that antibiotic cream or ointment, whatever I had at the time, all over the acne. And that is when I noticed. Now it's either my body adjusted to it and it stopped doing it. It stopped creating acne. The antibiotic worked. The salicylic worked. I don't know. But you could try those things if you're dealing with the acne. It was just so irritable and inflamed and itchy. I just remember that. So that was my hair loss journey. And so what I decided to do is, because I didn't want, how do I say this? I couldn't find hats that looked good. I couldn't find wigs that looked good. And my head's hot and I'm wearing it. And it just was so uncomfortable that I decided to make a conscious choice that I'm going to be bald. And I felt like if I made that choice, then I would hold it better. That it would look like intentional. It wouldn't look like, oh, you're sick. You actually made the choice to like go around that way, to go around with no hair. So every week, my husband, when he shaved his head, he shaved my head too. So we both went around with shaved heads. And I wore earrings, and that glammed it up. I was not in the mood for makeup at the time, but I might have put a lip gloss on, but I could pop some earrings in. And it really, when I went out, and I could still wear hats too if I wanted to, or a cap if it got cold, or I just didn't feel like being seen that day. I just felt a little down. I'd throw a cap on. And I had several different caps, and there's just a couple that I ended up liking. So I would wear those. So then I noticed that my hair just kept growing back. Like it fell out one time, but then it kept growing back. And I've been doing chemo for like a year almost. Let's see, how long did I do chemo? 18 months? So I've done chemo for almost a year and a half. Anyway, about around 9-month mark, 10-month mark, I noticed that I'm like, I'm still shaving my head and it's growing out. So I stopped. And then shortly after that, I stopped doing chemo about 4 months ago. So my hair's been growing out for maybe 5 months, and about a month or so of that I was doing chemo. So this is what it looks like, and it's coming back in. Yeah, if I had realized it sooner that it was growing, I would have let it just keep growing. And I would have been further along probably. Probably not as good quality as hair. Like my hair is pretty fine and thin as it is right now, baby fine. So maybe it would have broken off easier or whatever had I not shaved it during the chemo. But now that chemo's getting out of my system and stuff, that the hair can grow back better. So right now what you've got here is my gray. I don't think I'm more gray than I normally would be. And I am coming back in pretty wavy through in here. You could see the wave. And what I did do is I did get a haircut because it was coming in and it was just so floofy, like little duckies, little chicks, little fur or feathers on chicks, that I went ahead and had her trim it up, made it look, again, intentional, even though I had a huge bald spot in the back of my head. This part, it's so hard to tell in the monitor, this part was growing in funky. And I had a huge bald spot right here in the back. So like if I turned around, so I was still wearing caps, but I'm like, I don't want to wear a cap. I'm bald, I have bald spots. I'm going to just own it, because when you make that intentional choice, this is what I'm going to do, then it's intentional and then you feel more comfortable. That's what I find. So I did that. With that being said, all these little extra fuzzies and stuff, I try to find products, well, to cover the holes, the batches of baldness, and some kind of gel. And gels are hair gels and stuff. I never really used them before. When I had hair, but they're a lot different than when I did use them way back when I was a teenager. So first of all, for gel, I found, and I know it's curly stuff, but it says Not Your Mother's Curl Talk. There's a cream. I bought this little sample of cream, a mousse, and a gel. And so I would just put the gel in basically, and then I did get a nice soft brush, a real boar's head brush, and it's soft, and it directs the hair nicely. It's not like one of those plastic ones, and it's really soft on the scalp. So I would put a little gel in my hair and then comb it down like this. I didn't try the mousse and I didn't try the lotion. So that actually I'll be gifting away to somebody who has curly hair. You might need that. So it worked fine. The gel worked fine. And we'll get back to what I'm using now in just a little bit. I also bought, and before, when I used to have hair before the cancer, I used to get a little balding spot would come and go right here, or along my part, and I would just put this topic and just dust it, here and blend it in, and it just kind of filled it in a little bit. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's little fibers, and it comes in a few different colors. And I went out and bought myself a big one, as you can see. And I bought a little spray for it. So what you do is you set this on top, and then you puff it out with this little nozzle, and you can spray it where you need it to fill it in and stuff like that. The other thing I found, and this was all on sale at Ulta when I found it, so I got really lucky, is a spray can of it. I thought that might be easy too. So what I did was, though, I went out, I bought the stuff, and then I was spraying too much, like trying to do it myself, especially that hole in the back where I had that bald spot. And I kept I just put too much, and so then it was like, don't touch your hair, don't lean against anything. I had this dye in my hair, and I just put too much, and I was so frustrated with it. I was like, forget it, I'm not doing that anymore. And then I did buy some Verb Ghost Oil to treat the hair, make it softer and shinier, because it was looking really ratty, like kind of dull. It was looking dull. So I had bought this. So I had tried a few things. I tried the oil, I tried the Topic, I tried gels and mousses, just to kind of go along this little stage, and every week was kind of a different stage, or every 2 weeks I'd find myself in a different stage. I finally got the haircut, and when I did get the haircut, I just asked my hairdresser, what do you recommend that I get for my hair? And she recommended Virtue. I'm like, I'll buy it from you, I don't care. It's a 6-in-1. It does all kinds of styling stuff. It does a straight and curly, wavy, heat protectant, whatever you want to do. So it'll grow with me, I guess, as my hair grows out. And I put the smallest amount, and I put it all in my hair, and then I just brush it all down. And right now, brushing it down is kind of all I can do, because otherwise it just sticks up kind of funny. Ooh, I'm sweating. I keep turning that way, but there you go. Yeah, you can kind of see what it does. Now, what do I wash my hair with? Well, I take turns now. I still use the baby shampoo because it's good for your hair. It's gentle on the hair coming in. And then I use this Amika, which I used before when my head was bald too. I forgot to mention it. This is a Reset Exfoliating Jelly Shampoo. It's got little scrubbies in it. It's for the scalp and for the hair. And so I thought, since my scalp is being exposed more, it does need to be cleansed more often, probably like a little bit of a scrub, like skin. Because it's showing all the time. A little exfoliant wouldn't hurt. So I use this. So I take turns with these two, or use them at the same time, depending on how long it's been since I washed my hair. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Okay. So that's what I'm doing with my hair now. The plan is, again, my bald spot. And let me see if I can turn around. If you guys can see my bald, anything here. I don't know if you can see. It's growing in. It's growing in nicely. But what I've decided to do is just let it grow in and keep getting it cut every so often. Now, they were saying, I read up in 6 months after your hair starts, after chemo, and your hair's been growing out and it gets a little more sturdy and has a little more integrity to it, you can get it colored. So now I'm deciding, do I want to color my hair? And if I do want to color my hair, what color do I want it? Do I want to leave the gray in and grow gray? It looks a little dull, so I might want to add something. Do I want to go back to my color I was getting before? It had a little bit of a burgundy in it, brown, burgundy. Do I want to go blonde? Do I want to get some highlights? I don't know. So I have to decide that. And do I want to stay at pixie? Or do I want to do something different and go back into a long bob? So I have some decisions to make down the line. And it's a fun time to experiment with your hair. It is just hair, just like it is just makeup. And there's only so much in this life we can do to worry about the bald spot on our head. And it does make us uncomfortable. But I really have found that the more I own it, the more comfortable I feel. The more I intentionally make a choice about it, this is what I'm going to do. The more comfortable I feel in my skin, in my body, or in my hair. So that's my hair journey so far. And I'd love to hear about anybody else's hair journey. And you don't have to be going through chemo. You could just have hair loss. It happens. So as I said before, all my hair came out everywhere. It is now growing back everywhere. My eyelashes are doing a phenomenal job of coming back. I'm able to wear mascara. And Oh, I'm so excited to wear mascara. And my eyebrows are coming back too, but I did have them tattooed way before I even knew I had cancer. And then just before I started chemo, my esthetician went over them again and tattooed them again so that they would be a little darker and they'd go better with a bald head. So one thing that I keep hearing about is, being, extra gentle, can't find a mascara for the eyelashes to be extra gentle and stuff. And I thought, that's a concern. I don't want to lose the eyelashes I'm getting, right? So hang on one sec. I'm going to take a pause here. So I've heard that eyelashes can be sensitive to mascaras and they break off easy as you're growing them back. So I found this one called Prime Lash. I found it online. Of course, everybody, there we go. Prime Lash. And of course they're like, oh, it's great for, after chemo and growing your eyelashes back. It doesn't tug and pull and so on and so forth. And before this came, it took really kind of a long time for it to come. I went back to my old mascara, which was my Voluptuous from L'Oreal. I had some of that. And the lash primer from L'Oreal, the white one, which I always used before, or I used Essence Eyelash Princess. And I went back to the Voluptuous because that's what I had, or Voluminous. That's what I had, and I had no problems. They look good. I never lost an eyelash. I never saw one come off. And I realized that, the way I remove eye makeup is really important to the way I keep my eyelashes and eyebrows on my face. And because I do a double cleanse. So what I do not do is I do not take a makeup erase. I do have them and I have used them, but they were too rough on my skin. I noticed that when you use just water and you're rubbing the heck out of them, you're going to lose eyelashes and all kinds and eyebrows and all kinds of things. And if you use like a cotton round with some makeup remover, and again, you're rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. So I use a double cleanse, and I have for a while. I noticed before I had cancer that with the double cleanse, my eyelashes got fuller and thicker. And I wasn't using like a lash growth serum or anything like that. So what I do is I take my oil cleanser and I first, I put it around my face on a dry face, and then I put it up in my eyes and my eyelashes and just let it sit. And I rub around the rest of my face, and then I go up in with just my fingers and gently wiggle up and just remove the makeup. Nothing harsh, I'm just super gentle. And it's mostly letting it sit there too and let it break down the makeup before going in and giving it a rub. And then I just rinse it off, and then I just wash my face like I normally would with my gentle face wash. And I really think that has a difference, because if you're rubbing those lashes, of course they're gonna come out. They're gonna come off, right? There's no way around it. So this, as a mascara, this one's okay. Whether it's gonna prevent you from losing eyelashes and stuff, I have no idea. I don't know. I think that sometimes the way you just put it away, the way you take off your makeup can make a difference too. So you can try that. My eyebrows, I have had them waxed, believe it or not, since I got off chemo. A lot of that baby furry fuzz was growing all around, and it just needed to be done and cleaned up a little bit. I noticed it's not growing back as quickly once I had it waxed. It wasn't like I had to do it. Before, it was every like 3 weeks or so I would get my eyebrows waxed. And now it's been, I don't know, a month or so, and I haven't had to. So hairs are growing back in the places you don't want them. They're not growing back in the places you do want them. I can tell you one thing, chin hairs, mustache hairs, they never went anywhere. They never fell out and stopped growing. No, peach fuzz, it stayed there too. Peach fuzz stayed. So frustrating, so frustrating. So anyway, yes, there is something said to not have to deal with the management of hair removal on the legs or on the armpits and things like that. So that lovely stuff's coming back, but not as harsh, not as strong. It's very baby fine. So we'll see where that goes. But as far as the face goes, yes, I'm shaving the fuzz off. I am getting waxed once in a while, or just plucking strays here and there. And my eyelashes, I'm continuing to watching them grow and get longer, and watching out to make sure I don't see any falling out. But I haven't had any problems using my regular mascara as long as I'm removing it the way I like to with the double cleanse. So if you have any questions about hair loss, hair growth, or maintaining the hair loss, what products I used, I didn't use a lot. I did a lot of research, and everybody's just kind of up in the air, like, well, whatever works for you. You could try this, you could try that. And so, that's what I did, and I'd love to have discussions with you about what you've tried or what you want to try. That would be great. So anyway, thanks so much for listening, and I hope this was informative and helpful to you, and I will talk to you next time. All right, take care. Bye.